Hey guys, this is the second math mini lesson, solving systems of equations. I'm really going to try to keep these videos to under 5 minutes each, and I think for this one we are going to be okay for 5 minutes. We have kind of a fundamentals type question here. This is in the no calculator section, it's number 6. And even though it's a pretty simple, straightforward question, it's not easy. You have to remember the fundamentals of solving systems of equations, and you also have to make sure that your arithmetic is right. It's really easy to get tripped up on this question or to find that it's just taking you a long time to get it done and to end up skipping it or getting it wrong. This is the kind of question that, if you're really comfortable with it, you're going to get it right every single time, and you're going to feel really good moving on to the next question with, while knowing that you've got this one right. So let's get into it. So we have to solve x minus y, which means we need to solve for x, and we need to solve for y. We are in luck because while we have two variables, we also have two equations. If we only had one variable, we'd only need one equation, and if we had three variables, we would need three equations. But anyway, all I've done so far is I have written the equations here on the board so that we're ready to get started, and we can manipulate them. If possible, we would prefer to only have to manipulate one of these equations in order to solve for one of the variables, right? Except here, when I'm looking at the values that we have in front of our variables, I'm not seeing a common denominator that I can get to using only one equation as manipulated, right? So like, if we had a 2 here in front of the x, this would be really easy to get rid of the x's. Or if there was a 6 in front of this x, then we could only manipulate this second equation. But as it goes, we're going to have to manipulate both equations. And so that means we need to find the common denominator of either these x terms or these y terms. Do you know what it is? 3 times 2 is 6. So actually, the common denominator for the x terms is 6, and the same is true for the y terms, which means you can multiply these equations by 2 and 3, or 3 and 2. And either way, you're going to be able to get rid of either the x's or the y's. So either way, we're on the right path. For me, it's easier to multiply 14 times 2 than to multiply 14 times 3. And that's just because I don't have a calculator. So I'm already thinking, well, let's multiply this top equation by 2. And let's multiply the bottom equation by 3. So what term are we getting rid of? What variable can we get rid of when we do this? It's not the x's, because 2 times 2 is 4 and 3 times 3 is 9. So these x's don't cancel each other out. It's the y's. Right? If I do 2 times negative 3, I get negative 6, and 3 times negative 2 is also negative 6. If I have the same value in front of the y's, I can subtract these equations. But I don't really feel like subtracting them. For me, the negatives make this a little bit more confusing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take either the 2 or the 3, and I'm going to make it a negative. So that way I have a 6 and a negative 6, and I can add the equations. I'm just going to throw a negative in up here. And let's make our new equations. We've got negative 4x plus 6y is equal to negative times a negative is a positive, and I've got 2 times 4 is 8, and 2 times 1 is 2. Now I've got 9x minus 6y is equal to negative 18. See how now we have a positive 6 and a negative 6, so they just cancel out if we're adding? Negative 4 plus 9 is 5x, and negative 28 plus positive 28 plus negative 18 is just 28 minus 18, which is 10. We've got x is equal to 2. But we're not done yet. We still have to solve for y. So now we just have to plug x is equal to 2 back into one of our original equations. I'm going to pick the second equation because it just seems a little easier to me. I'm going to do 3 times our x value, which is 2, minus 2y is equal to negative 6. 6 minus 2y is negative 6. Let's get y on its own by subtracting both sides by 6. Negative 2y is equal to negative 12. And now let's divide both sides by negative 2 to get y is equal to 6. So our answer is x minus y, or 2 minus 6, is negative 4. We were able to solve this pretty quickly and pretty easily, and I hope that on test day you feel just as comfortable. When I solved this the first time, I got the wrong answer because I made an error in my multiplication. I forgot negative times a negative is a positive, and I ended up with x is equal to negative 2. And then when I went to solve for y, it didn't make any sense at all. So the more comfortable you are with addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, the faster you're going to be able to solve this and the more accurately. So keep practicing, especially without a calculator, and good luck. Hope to see you soon. Bye.